Welcome back to the Deep Dive. So today we are tackling something everyone seems to crave, but almost nobody feels like they get enough of, rest.
Right.
We've got a reflection here on Matthew chapter 11. But before we get to the famous verses, we have to talk about this pretty terrifying thought experiment in the reading, the iron ball.
It's a really haunting image to start with.
Yeah.
It completely frames the whole concept of rest, not as, just taking a nap, but as an escape from a very specific kind of slavery.
Okay, so picture this. A village where every single baby is born with a round iron ball chained to their ankle. But instead of trying to cut it off as the kid grows up, the villagers actually upgrade it. They swap it out for bigger, heavier balls.
And because everyone has one, nobody questions it. The weight isn't even seen as a problem. It's seen as maturity. It's just the way life is.
Right. Until a visitor shows up. He walks into town and he's free. No chain, no ball. And he tells them, hey, you don't have to live like this. You'd think they would throw him a parade.
But they don't. They're so comfortable in their captivity that they're actually offended by his freedom.
Yeah, they call him a liar and drive him out of town because his presence makes their normal look miserable.
It's a tragedy, but it's also the perfect setup for Matthew 11. Because when we actually look at the text, Jesus is basically that visitor, isn't he?
He is.
And just like in the story, the reaction to him isn't what you'd expect. We always skip to the end of the chapter, the come to me part, but Jesus actually starts this whole section with a rebuke.
He's yelling at the cities where he do his best work.
Exactly. Chorazin, Bethsaida, Capernaum, these weren't hostile places, were they?
No, not at all. They were just indifferent.
They were the good religious towns, and Jesus just drops a hammer on them. He says if the miracles he did there had been done in Tyre, Sidon, or even Sodom...
Well, hold on, Sodom.
Sodom.
That's like the biblical sin city. That's the absolute worst case scenario.
Exactly. He's telling the nice, well-behaved religious people that the absolute worst sinners in history would have reacted better than they did. And he specifically mentions sackcloth and ashes, which was the ancient public way of humiliating yourself to say, I was wrong. He's saying the bad people would have been humble enough to change, but the good people were too proud to admit they needed help.
So the wise people are the ones clutching their iron balls, pretending everything is fine.
Precisely. They are exhausted, but they won't admit it. And that is the specific group Jesus turns to in verse 28 when he says, come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden.
Okay, but then he offers the solution, and honestly, it sounds a little like a bait and switch. He says, take my yoke upon you.
Right.
A yoke is a heavy wooden beam you use to drag a plow.
Right.
That sounds like hard manual labor, not rest.
It does sound contradictory, doesn't it? Put on this work equipment and you'll find rest. But you have to understand how a yoke actually works. It's designed for two animals.
Ah, so you're not pulling alone.
Exactly. In that culture, you'd often yoke a younger, less experienced ox with an older, stronger one. The big ox carries the brunt of the weight. It guides the path. The younger one really just has to keep pace.
Oh, I see. So when Jesus says his yoke is easy and his burden is light, it's not because the plow is lighter, it's because he's pulling the heavy end.
That's the breakthrough. The iron ball from the story is a totally useless burden. It just crushes you for no reason. The yoke is a shared burden with a specific direction. You're still moving, you're still living life, but that crushing weight of making it all happen on your own is gone.
That distinction is just... it's huge. But let's bring this down to earth for a minute. Most of us aren't plowing fields or dragging iron balls. What does this look like today?
Well, it's whatever you're dragging around to prove you matter. Maybe it's that hustle culture, or the need to be the smartest person in the room, or even just that constant low-level anxiety that you're falling behind.
The adulting tax.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. We accept it as normal, just like the villagers. We think, well, everyone is stressed out and exhausted, so I guess I just need a heavier ball.
So the challenge here is pretty confrontational then. We have to be the ones to admit the ball isn't working.
We have to admit we can't handle life on our own. The rest Jesus offers requires the humility to say, I'm tired of doing this by myself. It's a direct invitation to trade the crushing weight of self-reliance for a partnership with someone who can actually handle the load.
That is a lot to chew on. Are we willing to look weird to the rest of the village to get that freedom?
That's the question.
Thanks for breaking this down for us. To everyone listening, thanks for diving in. We'll see you next time.